high-speed sync, and how do you set this up on a Nikon Z9 camera. Guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Vitaly. If you are new to my channel and you're interested in a Nikon Z9 content that will be coming up shortly, please consider subscribing and liking this video if it really gives you enough information and helps you. Now, I want to talk about how to set up off-camera flash using high-speed sync. And it's actually relatively straightforward. You will have to follow 3 simple steps utilizing different features, obviously, camera features. So what I have here with me is the Nikon Z9 itself. I have a Godox X2T transmitter, and I have Godox AD200. So as you can see, all these 3 things are sort of disconnected in some sense. Obviously, the transmitter is connected to the camera hot shoe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through these very simple steps of how to set this up. And I think you guys will appreciate it, as there's just certain steps need to be followed and not missed in order to be able to properly trigger it. Okay, so the first thing that you want to start with is you want to be able to turn all of your things on. When I say things, meaning camera, we want to turn on the transmitter itself, and we also want to turn on the flash unit as well. So the very first thing that you want to start with is you want to go down to the camera settings in the menu under the bracketing flash, and you want to go to the menu E1 flash sync speed, and you want to choose the very top portion of that menu, 1/250th second auto FP. The next thing is you want to do is you want to get out of the menu, and you want to go down to the section where you have a flash mode that needs to be turned on. Now in mirrorless cameras it's a little bit different. You actually have to turn the flash on and off when you're using it. You want to click on flash on and off, and what's going to happen is the camera is going to auto calibrate itself for the lighting condition that is present. So let's get out of the menu, and the next thing we're going to go to is we will go to the transmitter itself. Something as you want to go to is make sure you're in the TTL mode on the transmitter, and you want to go down to the sync function. As you can see, once you go to the sync function, there are two functions. One of them is a regular flash mode, and the second one is one that says H with a little lightning bolt. That's the one that you want to select. Once you select this piece, as you can see, now you're able to go up basically above your 250th of a second flash sync speed. Something to note is if you are, let's say I want to go to the 1,000th of a second, and you go back to the flash mode, regular flash mode, pay attention to what happens to the shutter speed. It switches back to the maximum shutter speed for the normal flash. Okay, so that's the difference here. Make sure that you guys don't miss that step. So, and the third step that you want to do is on the flash unit itself, you want to go down to that little button that has like little antenna, and on the side of it there's a H with a lightning bolt. You actually want to hold it for probably about a second or so, and you will see that it has a little H with a lightning bolt shows up. Now at this point you guys able to trigger high-speed sync. So I want to make sure that I will turn this away from you guys, and you can actually see how it sets to higher shutter speed, and you can trigger it at the higher shutter speed. And that's pretty much it. This is how you set your camera for the higher shutter speed, basically high-speed sync, and you can take advantage of your lenses that go down to f1.8, f1.4, and be able to shoot it in the daylight. Because what happens frequently when you are, let's say, maybe at the beach during the daylight, you want to be able to use low aperture for that nice, beautiful, bokeh-licious background, but what happens is you get to have an overexposed image all the time when you're using flash. So to mitigate for that, you need to have a higher shutter speed. But because these cameras are in a normal speed, they go up to 200 or 250th of a second shutter speed, it doesn't allow. But when you have flash with capability of a transmitter to go much higher, you gotta go to those settings in the menu, as I mentioned earlier, onto the bracketing flash, and be able to set it to 1/250th of a second, and that should be able to solve your problem. Guys, if you have any questions, please consider putting it in the description below. I'll be more than happy to answer it. I believe it works the same way for Z5, Z6, Z6 II, Z7, Z7 II, and it certainly works for Nikon Z9 mirrorless flagship body. If you found that this video was helpful to you, please consider subscribing, liking this video, as it helps the channel so that I can make more content like this for viewers like you. Thank you.